Freeze your expression. Not one more muscle. Don't fix your hair. Don't force a smile. Don't adjust your posture. Stay exactly the way the world left you. Look inward like a security camera watching a room. You wake up, work, talk, post. But the sensation is that you're living the life of someone you don't remember choosing to be. The photos online look correct. The resume looks decent. Your social image is up to date. But inside you know, the face the world applauds is no longer yours. There is a gap between the life that is seen and the life that is felt. And that gap is where your energy bleeds out every day. This collapse has a name. It isn't an existential crisis. It isn't just a phase. It's identity theft. The silent way the world stole your face and left you in a marble prison. You thought identity theft was about banks, credit cards, hackers. The real theft was something else. They stole your original face and locked you inside a marble character you can no longer stand to play. They called it maturing, being more grounded, calming down. In practice, it was the world telling you, this is the face that doesn't cause trouble. Wear it, but never take it off again. If you look in the mirror and feel like you're standing in front of a stranger's museum, if your life looks right on the outside and claustrophobic on the inside, if the thought of being yourself feels vague and exhausting instead of liberating, welcome to the autopsy of your identity theft. Before I crack open this marble cell, we're going to make a pact with the field. If this transmission has already touched you in the first few minutes, subscribe now. Subscribe here is not vanity. It's a frequency lock. It's you telling the field, I want to see all the way through how my face was stolen and how I take it back. Your like is not affection. It's signal engineering. It's the command. Amplify this voltage. More marble prisoners need this collapse. And your comment at the end won't be an opinion. It will be a registration act in the field. Not what you thought about the video, but who you decide to be after you understand how the theft was done. Now we can begin. We're going to trace, step by step, how the world stole your face, and why it's you who keeps the marble prison standing. You were not born in marble. You were born as liquid silver. I'm not talking about cheekbones or jaw lines. I'm talking about a mission, a specific way your eyes cut through a room, a way you reacted to injustice that was not polite. The size of your desire that scared adults. The speed of your mind that made other kids look slow. You didn't ask for permission to exist. Your presence took space before you even knew what too much meant. That was your silver face. The first raw expression of your silver core. No editing, no diplomacy, no fear of being too much. In Jung's language, this was the early outline of the self. In ours, it was your original field signature. The problem is simple. The world is not built to receive liquid silver. Tired parents, overloaded teachers, mass-manufactured school systems, religious and moral frameworks designed for obedience, not sovereignty. All of them had one unspoken project: sand down the edges until you fit the group photo. They didn't call it violence. They called it education. Don't look at me like that. Stop asking so many questions. You're too intense. Tone it down. Who do you think you are? Every correction chiseled a piece off your face. And it wasn't just words. It was the way the room went cold when you told the truth too directly. The way adults laughed nervously and changed the subject when you asked something real. You learned faster than anyone realized. If I bring my real face, I lose connection. If I bring the edited one, I get fed. And the world gave you something in return, a mold, the marble mask. A face designed for approval, smooth, acceptable, yet with expressions pre-approved by the collective, certified not to cause trouble. You put it on, you had to. Without it, there was no food, no attention, no basic safety. Let's be clear. The first time you wore the mask was an act of survival, not cowardice. But what should have been a temporary helmet turned into a permanent cell. Today, when you walk into a room, you don't arrive first. The marble mask does. It knows what to say and when to smile. It knows exactly how to sound humble, reasonable, safe. It holds back your real facial expression like it's a weapon of mass destruction. You've seen this in the mirror, and there are days you look at yourself and feel a split second of strangeness, like bumping into an actor after decades of watching their character. You catch yourself thinking, is this really my face? Or is this the face I trained? That is the first trace of the theft. In Jungian terms, this is the persona taking the throne that belongs to the self. The persona is your social face. It's not evil. It's functional. The problem is not having a persona. The problem is living inside it. So what happens to everything that doesn't fit inside the marble mask? All the rage, the appetite for power, the taste for luxury, your contempt for mediocrity, the sexual impulse, the urge to say, stop this nonsense, a now. All of that goes down into the shadow. In quantum marble terms, it goes into the silver core and lockdown. Your real face is thrown into an internal basement, and the world only negotiates with the actor. You become the curator of a character instead of the commander of a life. Your marble persona is not a living being. It is a structure you have to actively support every second of your day. You adjust your tone in every email. You calibrate your words in every meeting. You monitor your facial reactions while listening to nonsense you see through in 2 seconds. From the outside, you look mature, balanced, professional. Inside, you are performing stability on top of a locked reactor. This constant maintenance generates what I call invisible debt. It's the energy tax you pay to keep the marble statue from cracking in public. You tell people you're tired from work. You're not. You're tired from performing your work. You are exhausted not because your life is too big, but because the character you play was never built to carry the weight of your actual voltage. This is why your achievements land as emptiness. The promotion arrives, the money comes in, the status improves. And still, something in you says, this doesn't feel like mine. Because it isn't. It belongs to the mask. The field is rewarding your marble persona, the well-trained actor, not your silver core. That's why you feel like you're living inside a museum. Plenty of framed moments, very little oxygen. You know you've hit invisible debt when a compliment lands like a reminder that you still owe yourself your actual life. Behind all this stone, the reactor never shut down. Your silver core is still spinning. In Jung's terms, this is the shadow. Here, it's your liquid silver locked in a basement reactor. Every time you swallowed your anger, every time you censored your clarity to keep the peace, every time you made yourself smaller so someone else wouldn't feel threatened, like all of that was silver rerouted to shadow. Energy that doesn't move outward as command leaks inward as friction. You feel it in your body before every important moment. That knot in your gut before meeting. That cold stone rising in your throat when you're about to say what you really think. That pressure behind your eyes when you pretend to agree. That is the marble mask choking your silver emission. That friction burns in the body, tight jaw like you're biting back words, neck that feels like rebar, shoulders shaped like armor plates, a constant background irritation with small things. Because the big thing is never allowed to move. You explode alone in the car. You rehearse arguments in the shower. You win every confrontation inside your head and lose all of them outside. You call it stress or I'm just like this. It's not your personality. It's the silent scream of a reactor being used to light up the wrong building. You are a 1,000-volt system trying to operate through a 10-volt mask. The result is oxidation. Your body rusts from the inside. Your days corrode under a thin layer of I'm fine. The world did not only steal your face. By forcing you into the marble mask, it hijacked your fuel. You became the operator of a life designed to keep your true radiation out of sight. You don't live only in psychology. You live in a field. A quantum field that responds to oscillations, not to stories. And the field does not read the mask. It reads the interference pattern between mask and core. Pauli laid down the rule. Two incompatible states cannot occupy the same space at the same time. Translated to your life. You cannot broadcast in the same signal, I am sovereign, I know my value, and I must be agreeable, safe, and non-threatening to be loved. When the marble face says, I am the helpful one, the flexible one, the safe one, and the silver face screams, I am being erased, I am furious, I want torque and control. Those waves collide. They don't add up. They cancel. Destructive interference. The field doesn't listen to your prayers. It listens to your coherence. If you are a divided signal, you are invisible to luck, invisible to power, invisible to real love. You are a ghost frequency. In the field, this looks like a life of almost. You almost close the deal. You almost get chosen. You almost move country. You almost leave the relationship you've outgrown. Almost promotions. Almost recognition. Almost feeling like you belong anywhere. On paper, you are competent. Energetically, you are a quantum ghost. People hear you, but they don't feel weight. Clients like you, but they don't trust your boundaries. Partners appreciate you, but they don't instinctively hand you the keys. The almost in your life is the field's way of saying, the observer is not whole. As long as your face is split between submission and sovereignty, the field will not consolidate prosperity, authority, or deep love around you. Because it cannot find a single, coherent signal to lock onto. Up to this point, we can blame the world. It built the mold. It rewarded the mask. It punished the silver. From this point on, we switched jurisdiction. The world initiated the theft, But the one maintaining the marble prison today is you. Identity theft that lasts for decades is no longer just theft. It becomes collaboration. The person you currently call me, the one who always smooths, always explains, always lowers their eyes, that is not the hostage. That is the kidnapper. Harsh? Good. Moral judgment will not break stone. Precision will. As long as you treat the marble mask as a condition for survival, the field will treat your silver face as a threat. Do you see what that means? Your own system is trained to protect you from your real expression. That is a marble prison. You beg for freedom, but the hand holding the key is your own fear of what happens if the silver face takes command. From here forward, continuing to live as the mask is no longer unconscious. It's a decision. You may still feel like a victim of what was done to you. But if you keep defending the mask after seeing the architecture, you're not just the victim. You're the architect. We're not going to improve your habits. We're going to sabotage the architecture of your marble prison from the inside. These are not self-help tools. They are 3 acts of internal terrorism against the system that stole your face. You still keep a persona for the stage, but you remove command authority from the mask and return it to the core. 3 operations. 1 to expose the theft, 1 to starve the audience, 1 to rewrite your face in the field. Operation 1. Mirror audit. For 7 days, the mirror stops being decoration and becomes a diagnostic tool. 3 times a day. When you wake up, before a key interaction, before sleep, you look straight into your own face for 60 seconds without adjusting anything. No fixing hair, no good side, no performance, just observation. At first, you'll only see an image. After a few days, you'll start seeing the script, the automatic smile, the eyes searching for approval, the eyebrows lifting to look nicer, less intimidating. You will catch micro movements, the way your mouth tenses when you imagine someone disapproving, and the way your eyes dull when you imagine being too much. During those 60 seconds, quietly ask 2 questions. Which parts of this face do I know are trained? What would my face do right now if it didn't need to please anyone? You're not supposed to act it out. You're supposed to notice how many degrees of editing you're operating under. The goal is simple. Destroy the illusion that the mask is who you are. Without that, every other step turns into spiritual theater. Operation 2. Burn the audience. You cannot reclaim your face and keep the same audience. Every time you stop feeding the role they expect from you, you are cutting a supply line to the marble prison. Over the next 30 days, each week, you choose one environment to uninstall a piece of the mask. Week 1, family. Week 2, work. Week 3, social circle. Week 4, intimacy, or the absence of it. In each environment, identify one recurring scene where you already know which marble role you are expected to play. Then you walk into that scene and perform the minimum opposite move your silver face would make. Not an explosion, a micro disobedience. Examples. Family. Where you always agree to keep the peace, you calmly disagree and don't justify yourself. Work. Where you always volunteer, you stay silent and let someone else step in. Friends. Where you always make the joke to cut the tension, you let the heaviness hang in the air. In intimacy, where you always say, "It's fine," you say, "It's not fine," and do not dress it in a joke. The audience will react. They will be confused. They may be offended. They may try to fix you back into the old role. Perfect. That is the sound of the mask losing market share. Every time this happens, breathe and tell yourself, silently, "I do not owe you this face." You are deliberately burning the part of your life that only exists to feed the mask. Some people will move away. Let them. They were in a relationship with your marble, not your silver. Operation 3. Face command. This is not communication. And this is a controlled detonation in the center of an old pattern. Choose one concrete situation where your future depends on the face you bring. A contract negotiation, a breakup conversation, a boundary with someone who has always walked over you. Before you go in, you will write 3 face commands, not affirmations, commands. For example, I do not smile to soften abuse. I do not shrink my voice to protect someone else's ego. I do not discount my price to avoid silence. You read these commands out loud, looking at your own face in the mirror, until your body reacts, throat tight, chest pressured, hands sweating. That reaction is not a problem. It's proof you've reached the reactor. Then, and in the real conversation, you hold your face in alignment with the commands. No nervous joke, no, "I'm just kidding." No apologetic smile to take the edge off. Maybe the deal collapses. Maybe the person walks away. Maybe the silence stretches. This is the exact spot where most people run back into the marble prison. If you stay in the discomfort without reversing the command, the field records a new state. The face has changed. The signal has changed. The old protocol is collapsing. From there, offers, dynamics, and people that only fit the old mask will start falling away. You will call it crisis. In reality, it is field reorganization around a reclaimed face. Breathe. You've just seen how the theft was done and how it is maintained. You can no longer say you don't know what's going on. If you keep walking out of your house with a marble mask as your official face, it is no longer just survival. It is consent. Every time you lower your eyes, smile at disrespect, accept less, pretend not to notice, you are signing, "I choose my marble prison." After this transmission, that becomes conscious responsibility. Your system may still shake. Your throat may still close. That's fine. You act anyway. Now, the ritual. Not aesthetic, operational. Feel your face from the inside. Forehead, eyes, jaw. Notice where the marble self is still trying to hold a good expression, even now. You've seen the theft. You've seen the cell. From here on, continuing the performance means staying imprisoned with full awareness. I want you to anchor this into the field with one simple act that is not symbolic at all. Go to the comments and write, in caps, "Marble Prison." 2 words, 1 public recognition. I know where I am locked. Those who type it just to follow the trend, the field ignores. Those who write it in a state of decision start cracking the cell. Subscribe to keep this frequency locked into your field. Your like is the command. Amplify this voltage. And remember, if you made it here, it was not entertainment. It was the field saying it has watched enough of the world using your face while you live behind it. From this point on, you decide whether you keep playing the stolen identity or begin today the reverse engineering of your marble prison. Analytical